Look at that. You're slightly concerned.
Oh, it makes a noise? This is quite sinister, what you're doing here.
Yeah, gone for it.
Is that the usual Santa thing? Just go up to a child and
Still
just
going.
push your crotch into the face?
I think Santa's usually sat down when the kids come. Have you been Santa yet?
Have I been to him?
Have you actually been Santa, like, for a...
No, I still write to him.
But, you know, OK.
Well, this is the thing. So, like, my...
Does he know?
Yeah. Well, no what?
Nothing. Nothing.
So you're not Santa?
I'm not Santa, no.
My husband was it. He was a stay-at-home husband, so he was my children's first Father Christmas because he got roped into the nursery. You know, he was the only man there. So all the women went, "Oh, great, you can be Father Christmas when you come. That's great." I was at work, and how do you explain to two-year-olds that you're just nipping off when you're dad?
Yeah,
so he
of course.
took them to nursery. He kind of hadn't thought that far, nipped off to go and put Father Christmas costume on, and then they fell apart and couldn't find Dad. They had to pull the beard down and kind of go, "No, it's me. I'm here. I'm here." So they thought Father Christmas was Dad, which is
It's a lot, yeah, it's a lot of
bit
pressure,
early.
I think. But I have been Santa. You know, like a children's charity, they sort of say, "Oh, will you come along and be Santa for the day?"
Fake
and
beard?
the full, like, the
Or do you
suit...
whiten up your existing...
Yeah, no, this is my time off beard. No, but I've been along and they've got the proper suit and they give the real suit. They give you the suit and the beard and the they don't give you the padding anymore, but they give you everything. And it's quite weird because there's quite a lot of pressure on being a Santa for children who believe you're Santa.
Yeah.
And there's a moment where they're waiting outside the grotto.
Yeah.
And you're sat in the seat.
And you're being checked for
Yeah.
all kinds of registers and...
Yeah, you've done a CRB check. Make sure you're all...
They do it that late. We've cast him, he's in. We should probably check that he's...
You're right up until Christmas Eve.
You got like a couple of L's, and then suddenly and you're thinking, how am I going to get? Like, I don't want to spoil their Christmas because if this is the moment that they'll remember, if I fuck it up, like they'll remember that moment.
Oh, I wanted John Bishop as Santa.
He does it sometimes as well, the same charity. But and there's a moment where I don't know what happens, the magic of Christmas. I don't know, but when they come in and they go. And they see you, you just suddenly find this, like, Brian Blessed, like, ho, 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 Merry Christmas, sir.
When you say you write to Santa, do you write a present list?
Yeah.
To this day?
To this day,
Where do
I'm
you deliver it
27. It's delivered... I still live with my parents, still live with Dave and Helen. Great guys. And
Do you have siblings?
I've got my sister Beth, who's 30. She also has to write to Santa.
Right. Is she living at home as well?
And she lives at home as well.
Are they not letting you out? Are they not...
It's very comfortable there.
It sounds it, yeah, it sounds it.
And, yeah, so I still have to... And we still have to put out mince pies
You
for
have,
Santa.
they ask you to write to Santa, your mum and dad.
Yeah, and if I sort of say, "Are you sure he's you know, real?" And they're like, "That's like, you can't say that in our household."
Right. Wow. And are they all right, you folks?
When I say I live at home, we live in a home.
Yes.
Sheltered accommodation.
It's not by any chance a windowless basement, is it?
And yeah, so it's basically just an opportunity for me to and my sister to leave out whiskey. That's the other thing. If there isn't whiskey, I'm legally old enough to buy the whiskey to leave out for Santa,
that's it.
which is basically just my father's way of going, "Could you just get some whiskey in because I want a whiskey on?"
So the whole thing's set up just so
you
because
get
your mum
some
won't let your
free
dad have
bottle of
whiskey.
And I try and catch them out sometimes. So, like, one Christmas, all of my gifts were labelled from Santa. There wasn't one from Mum and Dad. So I said to them, I said, "Well, where are your gifts then?"
Good one. See, my dad was very clever with that. So what he would do is all the presents that were, like, educational and a bit boring from Santa. The bike from Dad.
Do you do that now?
I'm a bit like that as well. Well, I'm working all year round
Do you
here
have
for
a
this.
main present
Yeah, I still do the main present and the...
and then the periphery present?
There was always a shared present for me and my brothers as well.
Oh, that's bad.
Oh,
Yeah, it was pretty bad.
That wouldn't go down well.
Sharing. You don't want to promote that, do you?
Not at Christmas. It's Christmas!
I'm not good at receiving gifts.
No.
And I don't like it when the person wants you to respond in a certain way.
Oh, do you feel the pressure?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, don't you like it?
No.
I don't.
Yeah.
You can take it away with you.
That's Christmas.
Well, you can take it back to the shop if you want. I don't want to go near the shop. Don't give me
Just wish
anything.
this whole thing hadn't happened.
I'm very ungrateful.
And they leave the receipt. Oh, you can take it back.
It's a gift receipt, though,
yeah.
so you don't know if they actually spent 14 quid.
Just added admin to my life. just pop round to a shop.
We used to have, my dad had this green ledger, and we had to open our presents in strict order.
Oh.
And so then he would write down who it was from so we could write our thank you letters.
Oh, that's
Until one year I wrote to Mrs. Cope, I think it was, I'm 12. I don't want a knitted soldier. No, thank you. Wow. And that was the end of the thank you note. And also the end of any presents from Mrs. Cope.
I remember being about 10, and we used to share a bed, me and my brothers, and it wasn't Angela's ashes, but we were poor, and so we'd share a bed, and so we'd be dead excited on Christmas Eve, and I remember my dad did it a couple of times, but I specifically remember this year because my dad wasn't into Christmas at all, in a sort of pretend dad way where he wasn't happy about it. The shopping, the tinsel, he wouldn't put lights on the windows because he was like, why am I entertaining the rest of the street? You know, let's just put things on the inside of the house. And he was into that sort of thing. So
entertaining?
Yeah, entertaining.
You know, walk past the house and go, oh, that's entertaining.
I remember one year, it was Christmas Eve, we were all excited, lying in bed, and there was, like, jingle bells, like, there was bells, like, sleigh bells outside. And, what we thought was outside. My brother's up, I was like, Stephen, Colin, I think I can hear Santa. Santa's here. And we were all up, and we opened the bedroom window, and we leant out, and we're trying to have a look where he is. And then, after about 4 or 5 minutes of this, my dad burst in. What's going on? Why are you up? I said, what? Santa's outside. We just heard the bells outside. And my dad, he would go over to the window, and he'd lean right out, and he'd go, I don't care who you are, get off the bloody roof with them reindeer. And it was like a whole little thing that he just set up for us. But it was well within his character, you know, so we totally believed it.
So, Joanna, what's wrong with your chimney?
Oh, well, now that I live...
It's not a euphemism.
So personal out.
Yes. This was actually my dad's chimney. That sounds even worse. That didn't help.
I want to know what you had to do with your dad's
This is a vintage thing, actually, because I think it's quite old-fashioned to smoke as a family now, isn't it? You know, it's quite old-fashioned. But in the 80s, everybody seemed to smoke, and certainly my whole family were like a chimney, you know. All the dads and the uncles and the granddads had one because it was Christmas. They all had a cigar, obviously, just because it was Christmas, apparently. All the nans smoked anyway. They could talk, they could do anything with a cigarette in their mouth, you know, chat, cook, like that, and you'd be watching it thinking, oh, no, not in the frying pan. And all the aunties, like, just everybody smoked, except for me, because I was 5. Well... I didn't tell anyone. And so you'd have this... We'd all be sitting around in the sitting room. Everybody would be at our house, you know, aunts, uncles, granddads, everybody smoking all the way through, unwrapping presents, chucking it on the fire. And Dad was very proud of this open fire. It was, you know, he'd moved from the city to the country and was going to have an open fire. And I remember my mum kind of went out. I think it must have been on... The chimney was on fire, basically, for about a good hour. Before anybody noticed, because everyone was smoking so much. The room was thick with smoke, but that was sort of normal. It was Christmas. It was always thick with smoke. There was just more of us, and we all had a cigar at Christmas.
And everyone else is inside, aren't they? So no one sees.
Everybody's here around the fire that's on fire, but more than fire. And it wasn't until my mum nipped out probably to make some ham sandwiches like you do when everybody's hungry about an hour later, aren't they, after Christmas dinner, somehow. And then when she walked back in the room, she went, oh, my God, look at all the smoke. Everyone's there going, yes, well, it's Christmas. We just have one at Christmas. Yeah, that's what we do. And no, the place is on fire. So we had to evacuate, except I do recall sitting on the top of the stairs with my nan, who was having a cigarette at the top of the stairs with me, while my mum was going, what are you doing up there, Ethel? We've got to get out. We've got to go. We've called the fire brigade. There's rocks coming out of the fire. And, they all came. The firemen came. They had a mince pie and a sherry and a bit of a chat and put it out.
Do they have to put a hose up it?
I don't recall. I just remember trying their hats on, and then we all had photos with the hats on and a sherry, and it was Christmas. It was Christmas Day. And then we did the same next year.
Set light to the chimney again?
Yes, sorry, Dad, to let that out there, because he is Mr Perfect, so he won't really like that going out. But no, he did it again the next year. And they came out, they went, oh, it's a regular thing, isn't it? Here come the firemen. We were looking forward to your mince pies. Yeah. same time next year.
It must be a fire extinguisher. A foamy one?
Yeah.
I don't know what they do. They must do, yes. Stick it. All right. I see what you're doing.
I promise you I'm not. I don't know what signals I'm giving off. And what spillages are you a dab hand with, Joe?
Our family, so all of the kind of uncles, aunties, everyone comes round to our house.
All the Lycetts.
All the Lycetts. And every year there's a spillage. Every year. 2 years ago, Uncle Eric spilt port on the new cream carpet. And because everyone was drunk, everyone was like, oh, I know how to deal with that. And so full bottle of white wine went on it. A whole thing of salt. None of it worked.
Someone just went, salt.
Well, it doesn't work. And so we ended up with, like, a really weird... where all of the other things had been. So it's like the main stain, and then the new white wine stain, and then the salt stain. So last year, Uncle Malcolm, who we all love and adore, but is a pisshead, he'll have a lot of brandy... just in life, but particularly on Christmas Day. So Uncle Malcolm had a few brandies and decided to have some of the trifle, which created a lot of tension within the household.
Before the main meal? What?
No, after he'd had a load of brandies and after the main meal, and was sat in the armchair on the second new cream carpet. And so what was decided to sort of preemptive strike, I suppose, was we got all of the tea towels in the house and created a perimeter around his chair.
Around Uncle
Malcolm.
Malcolm.
The trifle. And he didn't spill it in the end, so it's a great waste of time.
Oh, I see. You thought the trifle was going to go over because he was drunk.
But, I mean, we're talking, like, 3 feet away from him from any angle. There was a bit of... And I think there was a side table that Mum quite liked, so I think there was a tea towel over that and all.
You should call him Drunkle Malcolm. Do you think that's funny?
Oh, we've not thought of that, actually. That's it.
Very good. That's the new one. That's this Christmas sorted.
That's a new hashtag, isn't it, Drunkle Malcolm?
You'll be like...
I've never been drunk on Christmas Day.
What?
That's the rules, isn't it? I thought it was morning time. It's the only time...
The clubs are offering
you're allowed to drink in the morning... Or, you know, being an alcoholic, obviously you can have any morning. But it is like, it's acceptable. Have a Baileys, have a Rapper Whiz. It's Christmas. Have a bit of have a bit of heroin. It's Christmas. Come on, Nana.
I'm always driving, see. I drive over and then don't drink and drive home, and no one really drinks.
And don't eat turkey, you don't drink,
eat turkey.
you don't want presents.
My poor stepmother, she just gives you a plate which has got roast potatoes and Brussels and then a space.
I love that.